What's up, everybody? Patrick Kofi Austin here, Social FlyWay. All right, today is our main day. We're going to the ASD Market Week convention here in Las Vegas, where we have, we stopped in yesterday, did walk the booths, and kind of just did some general stuff that you guys didn't get to see on camera, but we'll show you some of that here from our trip for today. But one major thing, and what I 100% thought would probably be the situation, was there's a lot of emphasis at this convention about the live selling movement going on here and starting to really get big in the United States. And that was one of the main reasons we wanted to come here today, to see, and yesterday, this whole week really, to see what the vendors, what the retailers, the wholesalers, getting some information from them and seeing like how much that was starting to truly manufacture itself here in the United States. And just on, I probably talked about 30 vendors yesterday, wholesalers, straight to retail, even some sourcing agents. And all of them said that they've seen increases of people actually buying specifically for live selling, for TikTok Shop, for Whatnot, for LTK, different platforms, even people kind of deciding that they're making the switch that we've talked about several times, about going from straight kind of the influencer kind of program type deal to actually becoming sellers, which is going to be the next big move, right? Because not every influencer is going to get to the 100K, the 200K mark, right? Or higher, right? That's kind of where I think, from what I've researched, I've done, most brands start to kind of look at, okay, yeah, this is worth going ahead and writing a check. Let's get them going, blah, blah, blah. The average person influencer, or the person that wants to be an influencer, you're going to be looking at, 2,500 at minimum, right? That's unfortunately kind of where I'm at on my personal, but to roughly like the 20,000, 30,000, right? That's going to be the normal kind of thing where most of the people are going to be at. So the transition from people going from wanting to be an influencer or a micro influencer into becoming a live seller or a product kind of hub for their market is something it's here. And it was, I came to find out that that's pretty much the truth yesterday. So today what we're going to do, there's two panels today that we're definitely going to. There's TikTok is now officially flip the switch on selling live with auctions. So they're having something about that today. And then Whatnot also has a demo and for potential new sellers and retailers that are here at this convention, and we're going to be going to that. Along with that, we're going to maybe talk to some other people. Saw a really cool software company that's working on some live social selling software that maybe we're going to get to sit down and talk to a little bit today. And then, of course, I'll make sure we get some footage for you guys to show you kind of ASD in a whole, and we're going to have a good time. You know what? Because that's how we do. And we hopefully can get you guys some good information and give us our synopsis on kind of based on this event where we see the live social selling, where taking the social FlyWay protocols into creating content can help you be a better seller, and kind of give you guys just just kind of some raw, really good information and maybe some takeaways that we noticed here that we think maybe that you might want to consider moving forward. So, all right, we'll see you in a little bit. We'll show you what's going on. All right, you guys, here we are. We're in the main hall. Now, this is going to be the beauty section, and in here they have the beauty, fashion, and jewelry areas. And this is this cool little space where this is actually where they're having the live stuff, selling stuff for Whatnot and TikTok here today. So we're going to kind of venture off. They start here in a little bit, but for a little while we're just going to kind of just venture around, look and see, and I'm going to show you guys some of the space and see what you guys can maybe look forward to and hearing from us. Clothing, whole shebang in here. You can find about anything you can think of in this space here. If you're into fashion, glasses, clothes, the perfume sections are insane. So as you can see, like even purses like this, and I know the fashion and things like that are coming up, you're going to see a lot of different types of items in these stores. Like the lady loved this store over here when we were here yesterday, and this one over here, the Fate Misty hand helm. Yeah, we're gonna have to go talk to them. Actually, I told them we were gonna come back and chop it up with them and get some information, because, and even for someone like me, right, I'm not, in the fashion, well, I am, I just like certain stuff, and I wear a lot of the same stuff. But, opening a store and seeing how sellers could benefit from this, I have this full list of people here, and all these people, the one thing, at least from our side, is that we have talked to some of these vendors, and they don't do a lot of marketing, and which is kind of crazy that they're at the point, either one, they don't think it's important, or that they just don't do it, right? So that was one of the conversations we had a few days yesterday as well, was about why they're not doing as much marketing to people, because I think that they're just used to buyers coming here, buying like this and buying at wholesale, and this seems like the normal. All right, so here we are. We're at the Whatnot booth. You had to stop by and say hello and talk to a couple of people, and they got live sellers ready to go and going live right there, as they should from an event like this. Whatnot is a fantastic platform if you haven't ever used it. We've been using it. Our What's Cracking collectibles have been on it for a long time. And even for us personally, for our business, that's another reason why we came to ASD2, because we're looking to expand into some different products. So it's cool to see the streamers and have that all going on here today. What a cool. She's doing wholesale rigs. They have the screen up over there as well with their products. And they're getting it done. And I actually like her setup. She's using a tablet. They're using a tablet with some ring lights on there, which is a very smart way to do for the screen. And then they're using their another camera, showing it right there. That's a very cool setup, very smart setup. And one of you suggest, especially if you're on the run and you're going to be using the tablet as the app. So with that being the case, like I said, it's definitely, it's here. And then right now we're also going to be meeting, just happen to be one of the people we talked to right next to the Whatnot booth, is Livestream Pro AI. It just seems like a very cool product. We didn't get time to get onto the website earlier last night or this morning, but we're going to stop over and talk to them here at some point in time today too. You guys are going to see, they're running a demo right now. You guys are going to see what they're all about, because yeah, this seems pretty cool. Okay, now we're going to enter into all the fragrances. This is fragrances, and this is, like a lot of the makeup and things like that. It is just an ungodly amount of all the different brands. Hazel International Perfume Wholesalers. I mean, just the wholesalers and places you can get stuff from is amazing. And we're going to actually talk to them, and we're going to grab some information from them, because we like them. All right, so I just actually stopped by a wholesaler of goods that had lotions and everything like that, and they actually had their Whatnot live selling stream going. And so this is exactly what I'm talking about. That's the second booth we've passed, well, probably like the third or fourth booth we've passed today that's had the social selling streamers actually live on while they're here at this booth. And they were a wholesaler that's now also wholesaling to other people. And this is the kind of thing that we're going to be running into and seeing inside of this market, is that the live social selling aspect of retail is going to be here, and it's starting to get to the point where people that are going to be more into actually the live social selling parameters of stuff are coming to these events, and they are networking with these people and finding these people to buy their inventories and figuring out what their minimums are and moving these units, and even just talking with them, they're talking about how there's so many people that they've done partnerships with that are specifically live social sellers, because they realize that even for them, they need to move inventory, right? So it's just kind of a crazy understanding of where the market's going, how important this is going. Gary Vee isn't crazy, just in case you guys weren't for sure. And that's kind of what's going on with that here. So with that being said, we're gonna, walk around a little bit more, but I need to talk about that right now before I lost the idea of it. So, that's what it is. So this is what we were talking about right here, you guys. These gentlemen here are out here doing influencer marketing at the event where distributors are going to go buy stuff. And so what they're trying to do is create engagement. People follow the traffic. They're not going to be able to find it anywhere. They're going to go to their wholesaler or their retailer store and say, hey, why don't you have this product? And then they're going to go, oh, well, worst case scenario, you can find it on TikTok Shop, or you can find it on whatnot, or you can find it somewhere else, because there's a lot of sellers and influencers like himself. Are you a live seller?
Influencer.
You're an influencer, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you thinking about going into live selling?
Perhaps.
I mean, because what you're doing would make a ton of sense, right?
That's true. Jimmy Sniffs, all platforms.
Jimmy Sniffs. So there you go, Jimmy Sniffs, all platforms. And you are the scent guy.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to follow Jimmy Sniffs, and we're going to see what's cracking, because something tells me he's on to something. So yes, once again, perfect example of why being at an event like this, seeing they were kind of guerrillaing, right? And so I'm sure they're doing this event, they're here, they're showing their product to some of these other people that would pick it up from them to be able to create content and things like that based on what they have. So, we're gonna go ahead and talk to some more vendors. I saw one that really pumped out at me. And we're going to talk to them just about their products and services and so forth and so on. But this is one thing I will say, okay? This is for anyone watching this that's doing a conference or something of the sorts like this. People at your table should be a little bit more excited to be there, right? Like, they're getting paid for this. And I've gone up to enough booths where people are just not excited. And they're not really, what's the word I'm looking for? As helpful as maybe they should be. So just kind of keep that in mind. But we'll be back. Of course, this is going to be a long video. We'll catch you on a little bit later. Well, all right. We talked to the AI guys in the live stream thing, and it's such a really kind of a cool product. The more they get into it, really it's a Chrome extension, which is very cool. So that means you don't have to have a lot of extra stuff along with it to make it work, which could be very useful and have some very good information impact. We're actually going to use it. They gave us a password. They're going to let us use it for free. And kind of maybe do some demos and things like that, and show you guys exactly what it's like. So they didn't want to be on camera. They were a little scared to be on camera, but they are going to give us free access to it, and so we will do a video specifically on this software as well. But yeah, this event is, like I said, this was why we came here, to see some of the stuff that they have here, and you pretty much can find anything under the sun. And it's 100% after talking with people here, the live social selling is here. They're seeing the impact of it, they're understanding the impact of it, and they're seeing more and more people coming here to buy specifically for that, and to look at also a lot of them are talking about creating partnerships. So that's something that, you guys might want to keep in mind just in general. And, that's kind of what we came to do some research, and we're going to kind of do some more breakdown of this on our own, outside of what you're going to see from this video, from some stuff that, that we talked on off camera with people about. And, that's the ticket. All right, you guys, we've been walking the show floor a little bit more here today. It is just with this being kind of the first time me coming to something specifically like this, for searching for something specifically in this department, it's amazing the margins on some of the stuff, the knickknack stuff that you see in some of like the grocery stores, gas stations, smoke shops, things like that in general. It is amazing the markup and the prices that you're gonna be able to get some of this stuff up, which makes even more sense. Now I can understand why especially the live social selling market is getting so much bigger, is especially compared to something like, what I'm familiar with in general is TCGs, which is trading cards, right? Like those are quick running products, very low margins, you gotta sell high volume. But some of the stuff that I'm noticing here, and I can see why the live selling scenario is becoming more and more prevalent, is that the margins on some of this other stuff is incredible. And this is one of the things I think that's going to be a big thing, is that the everyday mom and pop person can become a national brand very fast if they do it right with some decent marketing. And this is kind of why I believe that, there should always be a marketing plan for every live social seller, all retailers, especially with this new wave of selling stuff is happening. And so right now, we made a quick stop. I just saw there's a Square booth. I'm going to go talk to the people over at Square just to talk to them about, their AI implementation and stuff that's been implemented into their software, especially their websites and a lot of their project inventory things that I've seen on their website. And, hopefully maybe we can get an interview, maybe not. If not, we'll be back to kind of tell you, what they said to us. All right. Well, as accepted, we spoke with Square, and they are, implementing a lot more AI into their business processes for some of the same reasons why we tell everyone else to do it. The data, adding the data, exporting the data for people to be able to use it in a lot better of a way. And, even when I asked them about, their connections and if they had, at this point in time, had any social selling or connecting that to some kind of live, like Shopify stores, to things like that to their website. And they weren't really for sure. They said there's some stuff that's been talked about. So I guess maybe you guys keep an eye out for that. But in general, it seems like, what we've been saying is happening, is totally happening. But we're going to go ahead and walk around some of this a little bit more and see what other kind of crazy stuff we can find. Actually, we haven't even given you a full look at this space yet. Let's do this. We are now in the general, we just were in the toys and home, which was up that way. And this is the general sales, general merchandise and closeout area. And we're working our way over to the convenience store and like electronic part area a little bit more. But as you can see, there's so many retailers. Look at all of this. All these different like convenience store goods, right? Like this is all stuff you would see like in a Walgreens and stuff like that, right? Super cool, very interesting. And I'm sure there's several small buyers of different stores, or even medium-sized and big buyers in here. Like, look, just all kinds of stuff. This is all the type of stuff like I said, you see in Walgreens, see in a CVS. Look at that, some little fun little novelty stuff. Here's some homewares, home goods stuff. But look, they got, Vaselines, all the different kind of stuff like that you'll see in stores where you can order and buy, and they got their pricing. Like this is an all-in-one type scenario place. And this is what I'm saying, like you guys can see some of this stuff in here at wholesale rates, and even some of the prices and things that they're giving people here at the cash and grab day. Today's cash and grab day if you want to. Just all kinds of stuff, everything you can think of, of all shapes and sizes, all forms. And you know that I'm going to look at the Gibson's one since I'm a food person after I do this little video piece. But yeah, this is incredible. This is super cool. All right, you guys, so we did a little bit more walk-in and we kind of just, looking at this whole process. This has been, like I said, it's such a cool experience. Saw some other very, very cool stuff inside of here and got a better idea of, what is there to offer for people that could actually be live sellers. And so, talk to more people about, the processes that, some of the to go by, especially if you're not a brick and mortar store, where I'm surprised at how many of the vendors that I did stop and talk to or took the time to actually talk to me, that they are willing to sell to people that are not brick and mortar stores, which is crazy to me considering, like I said, most of my original live selling stuff had been done with TCGs, where the TCGs and the sports card market and a lot of the different collectible markets distributors only sell to brick and mortar stores. So this has been a quite eye-opening day, well, 2 days really. But one thing as a marketer, the one thing I did realize here at this show, I understand that they're here to sell stuff and talk to people and find buyers, but most of the booths are just boring. There's not a lot of entertaining things to draw people into their booth. So I think that a lot of and that could just be a, what do you want to call it, a disconnect, which I'm sure what we know happens a lot in businesses, where there's a disconnect between the sales department and the marketing department, and creating an environment of something that's engaging, that's going to be memorable for people if they come to your booth to come buy stuff, right? Or if they're interested in your product, there has to be something that's engaging to keep people involved in it. And that's really something else maybe we will look into Social FlyWay here is, look into what those look like. Talk to more people about why that seems to be the case. This isn't my first time at some kind of convention similar to this, right? I've gone to other ones, but most of them have been inside of, different markets that are collectible markets where that's a normal thing, right? It's part of the entertainment industry. Something like this is only maybe the second time I've been to something like this. And there's nothing entertaining happening at their booths to draw you in outside of they just have some product maybe to sell. And then even sometimes the people, or maybe it's just my face, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm scary, they're just not very welcoming. But I've had some that were. So with that being said, this has been a really cool experience. I'm glad we got to video this and then get to talk through this, and I can talk to you guys about it while we're here. So with that being said, this is going to be our wrap up for ASD for today. We'll probably be back maybe tomorrow to actually do some buying for ourselves. But today's our business day is over with, and we're going to go get us some lunch and see what else we can do for the rest of the day. All right, Patrick Kofi Austin, Social FlyWay. We out of here. Peace.